Hi, and welcome back to Arno TV. I'm your lovable host Arno, coming back to you with another video. Now, what we're going to talk about today is more of these draconian enforcements of rules in this country. Now, at the start of this lockdown, the government seemed to be focused quite heavily against students, and a story has emerged again over the weekend where it looks like their focus is back on students. Now, what I'm talking about is a story that I was watching an interview with this guy, a guy called Luke Anderson, who's a law student from Newcastle University. I was watching this morning an interview that he did again on Talk Radio, one of the few broadcasters out there that I keep seeing that actually questions things, with Julia Hartley-Brewer. And what I'll post the interview that this guy gave in the link in the description as always. But what happened is over the weekend in the part of Newcastle that he lives, it's obviously an area where there's lots of student accommodation, okay? And what's been going on there is these COVID marshals are patrolling the streets. Going to people's houses, banging on the door, making sure that there's not more than the people that live there in the house, etc. So anyway, he's at home with his housemates who live there, a shared student house, and they're listening to music. They're not doing anything that they shouldn't be doing. They're not having a party. They're just sat at home listening to music. And the COVID marshals hear the music and call the police. Okay, and call the police on these guys. Okay, so apparently, and you'll see in the interview when you watch the interview, that apparently this is not the first time that this has happened to them, and numbers of other students in the area. Okay, so what this guy's done is, as you'll see if you watch the interview, this student is actually a law student as well, Luke Anderson. The previous time that the police had come round to his house to check this kind of thing, there'd been an allegation that he's taken up with the police complaints authorities about that one of the officers actually pushed his girlfriend and very aggressive attitude, and this is what's been going on. So this time he opened the window and asked, how could he help them? And he's basically told that they better open the door, because if they don't open the door, they're going to get more police down there and force entry. That's the sort of impression that he's got from the police. So he feels, he didn't really know his legal rights at that point, even though he's a law student. He's not an expert, he's a student. But anyway, so they've sort of pressured him to actually, let these people in the house. And the reason why they wanted to come in the house was they wanted to count the people in the house to make sure that they live there. I mean, if you remember, before this lockdown started, I was telling you about colleagues of mine who had explained about families that had come back and had the police wanting to photograph them in the window. That's what the police were demanding in this video that went out over the weekend, which I'll leave a link to as well. They're demanding that they bring all these people to the window, or they're going to bust in the door. So they opened the door and let them in, and apparently they've been very rude to them. Just this draconian attitude. I mean, what is going on here? Are people comfortable with this? COVID marshals going around to students' house and saying that the police have to be let in to count people. I mean, where are we living here? Are we living in the 1930s in Germany? Is this where all this is going? Because this is just crackers. It's just nuts that this is going on. And I should be talking to you about things like this. I mean, it's just crazy. So anyway, I think what section of law did they actually quote them? Oh yeah, they quoted them under section 17. Okay, that they had the right to come in the house, and obviously this law student's actually going to look that up, and turned out that they didn't have that right. So this is the kind of tactics that are being used at the moment, and people wonder why I'm concerned. Wonder why I'm concerned about things like this. It's not normal that the police are turning up at people's houses unjustified. I mean, if the guy was throwing a wild party or something and there was fighting going on outside his house or, you know, something of that nature, the police have got every right to go there, of course, yeah? But they don't have the right to just go round and bang on people's doors and demand that they're let in to count who's in there. I mean, where is this going? This is just draconian, okay? And we are, as I keep saying, edging step by step into this authoritarian state that is being built. And I'm telling you, this has been done on a global level, okay? So we need to be very careful about what's going on here, because day by day, our civil liberties are being ripped up and taken away from us. You know, I mean, when we started this lockdown, you know, we didn't know we were going to see, you know, 73-year-old ex-nurses being arrested for taking their, 97-year-old mother out of a care home to look after. That'd be a crime. You know, we didn't expect, you know, things like this. You know, the police turning up at students' houses. I mean, they're not happy that they tried to do things like build, 9 feet high steel fences around, halls of residences in places like Manchester. You know, I mean, what is going on here? Because this is not about health, okay? How is the police coming in someone's house and counting people that are in there in a shared student house? How is that anything to do with health? This is about control. And what position it leaves these students in as well is, he's in this interview he did with Julia Hartley-Brewer. He said he's going to complain about this to the police, but he said that this is happening on a regular basis to other people where they're not doing anything wrong, and this kind of big brother monitoring of them is going on, and they're in a predicament where they don't want to complain to the university about this, because what will happen then is a COVID marshal sending a report in, and they'll be receiving mail about they had, antisocial behaviour or something going on at the house, even though that might not be the case at all, So this is, it's this idea of governing people through fear. And is the reason why students are being treated like this, to condition them at a young age that this is the way things are going to be. Okay, well, I don't want things to be like that, and I think that we all need to start making our politicians and our leaders answer some serious questions about the whole way this has been policed from the start, the civil liberties that have been stripped from us, their attitude through this whole crisis and in this lockdown, the way that they disobey the rules when it suits them and nothing happens to them. They need to answer some serious questions, okay? And none of us with a brain want to go into this authoritarian state that's seemingly been built for us, okay? And they're working with people like the World Economic Forum to push things like the Great Reset and the Fourth Industrial Revolution. And we're all supposed to just sit here and say that that's all fine, yeah? Well, it's not fine, okay? And it's about time these people are held to account, okay? If we are going to have a Great Reset, let's make the reset where all these people are made to be held to account for the things that they've done, the decisions that they've made, and the disgusting way that a lot of them have behaved throughout this crisis. Okay, let's have that as our reset. Okay, let's not have a reset that's run by billionaires and this 1% that's going to benefit them. Let's have a reset for us lot. Okay, that's what I'm saying, and that's what I think should happen. And people are getting sick of this authoritarian state that's been built for us. And the government can parrot lines like that lots of people are happy with these lockdowns. But I think there are a lot of people out there, and we've seen in the scenes over the weekend, that are questioning what the hell is going on and why our civil liberties are being stripped like this. Okay? I've never, ever disputed that there's a virus out there, and, that we have to follow the medical guidelines in relation to the virus. I accept that. I've got no arguments there. We all need to be careful. about that. That's understandable. But the facts and figures that have been presented to us have been proved time and time again to be false. There's no kind of common theme to some of these rules. They vary from place to place. People don't know whether they're coming or going. It's about time these people are made to answer some serious questions. It says a lot, doesn't it, when we've had the shocking scenes in the last few days of that woman in her 70s being, manhandled and spread-eagled and thrown into the back of a police van outside the Houses of Parliament, okay? And MP Charles Walker stood up for that lady, walked straight into the Houses of Parliament and called Priti Patel and Boris Johnson out and demanded that they were brought into Parliament and to sort it all out. And have we heard any response from them? We've not heard anything from these people, okay? And this is what I'm talking about. Because if you're happy that we're going into this kind of society where this kind of thing is allowed to go on and there's no comeback for these people, then, then don't say anything. But, if you want to, not live in a society like that, and don't want this pandemic being used as an excuse to push all these draconian laws through on the back of it, and pushing us more and more into a world where we are policed on every aspect of our life, because that is not the type of world that most of us want to live in. Okay, now if you've enjoyed this video and you want to see more, then please like and subscribe to the channel, and once you do, please ring the notification bell so you can be notified of forthcoming videos that I put out, and there's going to be lots more coming. So I'll be back soon, but obviously until I am, as always, take care of yourself, your friends, your family, your loved ones. Check in on people, like I've always said, throughout all these lockdowns and this crazy time. Do check in on people, make sure they're all right. I'll be back soon. Until I am, stay rock and roll, and thank you very much for supporting the channel.